Hello everyone, Mithil here. A lot of you have been asking me, sir, the dates have been announced. The JEE main will be happening at on 23rd of February to 26th of February, the attempt 1, that is how to prepare for it, sir. Will it be easier or more difficult than the ones we have been practicing in our coaching, in our practice tests? How should we attempt the paper, sir? How should we prepare our mindset? So, addressing all these questions is what I'm going to do today. This video will be really very helpful if you follow it really by heart, and also if you find it useful for you, try to share it as much as possible so that it reaches the people who else it might find useful. Alright, so let's head into the video. Alright, so the strategy for JEE Main 2021. Okay, as you all know, the dates 23rd to 26th is the first attempt, is when it is going to happen. What should be your strategy? In this video, what I'll be doing is I'll be addressing 4 key questions that many of the students might be having. The first one is what to expect from the paper, sir. How will the paper be? Yeah. Next one, how to prepare for the exam. Biggest question, how to prepare for the exam. It's only like 2 months, 1 month, 1.5 month left for the exam. So what to do, sir? Yeah, this is the big question. How to attempt the paper, sir? Should we attempt all the 300 marks? How to go about when we face the paper? Some of you even have a question that, whenever you see a paper online, it gets really difficult to manage your time. But when you are trying it offline, it's very easy to manage time. Yeah. So another big question. The last one, should I sit for all the attempts? I'll address this too. So these are the 4 questions. We'll go one by one on each one of them. So let's start. The first one, what to expect from the paper. You all know the basics, 300 marks, 180 questions. The difficulty will be from easy to medium level. Okay, JEE Main is not to get to the very depth of the knowledge of the subjects that you are appearing for. It is just checking the basic applications, whether or not you understood that or not. So don't expect very high level of questions, and even if the questions are high, you need not worry, because during the normalization it will be taken care of, right? Because if the paper comes very difficult for you, for your slot, say, then the topper from your slot might score less than what the toppers from others might score. So at the end of the day, it will be sorted out. So you need not worry about it. Be strong with your concepts and applications, and you should do fine. The mandatory questions, that is 20 into 3, right? That this time the format has changed a bit. You know that there will be 20 plus 10 questions in each of the subjects. So in all, there will be 90 questions in the paper. 20 questions of physics, 20 questions of chemistry, 20 questions of mathematics will be compulsory, and they will be multiple choice questions. And you have to attempt, basically you have to, there will be no options for that. And the rest of them will be any 5 questions of the rest of the 10 questions of numerical type. Now I want to highlight one thing, that mandatory questions, that is 20 by 3, may be only from the retained syllabus of various boards. Yeah, that is, the NTA has taken very minute care, very real, you should say, a proper care to make sure that students do not suffer because of the reduction of syllabus in different boards. So they have made sure that you will be given extra questions so that you can attempt whatever subjects whatever topics you have prepared for. So what I think is, the 20 questions that are compulsory, that are of MCQ types, will be completely from the 70 to 80% syllabus which is retained for all the boards. Alright, and the last 10 questions may include the excluded syllabus, that is the deleted portion. And I'm not saying that it will not include the syllabus which is retained. It may include the questions of the retained syllabus also, but I think from my guessing that the 20 questions will be only from the retained syllabus. This is a big maybe. All right, 50% questions should be from easy chapters. Yeah, in all the three subjects you might have faced, or you might have realized during these 2 years or 3 years of preparation, that a few questions are, or a few chapters are much easier than the rest of them. So it is much easier to prepare for those. So what I suggest for you is at least 50% chapter, 50% questions, that is out of 300, 150 marks can be easily scored if you just prepare the easy chapters. Okay, now easy is a subjective thing, but yeah, for some of the chapters, if I talk about physics, say for example units and measurement and such, modern physics, semiconductors are one of the easiest ones, and it's not even a subjective thing anymore. Yeah, so I expect that you prepare those at least and enter the examination hall. Any 5 questions of 10 numerical type, any 5, this asterisk on 5, what I mean by this is the NTA has not yet cleared how these 10 questions will be. That is, whether you can attempt only 5 out of 10, or can you attempt more than 5 also, and the best of 5 will be taken. It is not yet clear. While I'm recording this, the directives from the NTA has not been published. So, but they have printed it in bold in their bulletin. So what I expect is you will be only allowed to select 5 questions out of 10. That is my guess. I may be wrong. So be well prepared that it's not like you can attempt 9 out of 10 and expect that you will be given marks for the 5 questions that you attempted correct. Yeah, one thing is there, that even if you attempt wrong, then it won't be a negative marking for this. Yeah, so no negative for these numerical type questions. I think this idea is a really good one to give this numerical type 10 questions and you can attempt only 5, so that the people or students should not suffer because of the deleted syllabus that is not covered in their respective boards. Yeah, so this is what you can expect from the paper. Easy to medium level difficulty. Next is how to prepare for the exam. What should we do in this 1.5 month, 1 month or 2 months that are left? So what I suggest is, first thing, identify your strengths. What do I mean by strengths? That there are some topics which feel much easier to you, which come naturally to you than the others. For example, if I talk about physics, I see a lot of students finding RBD the toughest topic out of the whole physics. So that is not one of your strengths then. Okay, if it doesn't come naturally, if you don't understand what is angular momentum, how the things work in RBD, I'm not going into details, then that is not one of your strengths. But if you feel that say sir, electrostatics comes very naturally to me, I can solve the questions of capacitors very easily, or I can even solve sir magnetism quite easily, magnetic effects of current, EMI, AC. Sir, optics is very natural to me. Optics is quite easy. You apply the formula, you take care of the sign convention, and you 100% of the times get the right answer. It's not that difficult. If this is what you are feeling, then those are your strengths. Okay. Apart from these strengths, I would say also identify easy chapters. Easy chapters. Yeah. The easy chapters, I'm a physics faculty, so I would say easy chapters would include units and measurements, kinematics, yeah, and magnetism and matter, alternating current, semiconductors, modern physics, nuclear physics. These are a few chapters which are quite easier than the rest of them. So make sure that apart from your strengths, you also make sure that these easy chapters are well done for you. You don't enter the examination hall without preparing these chapters. If you are lucky, there might be a question of there was a question in one of the IIT JEE previous years, that given a side of a cube and say 2.7 meter is a side of a cube, find the volume of the cube. Such an easy question, right? But the options were not easy. The question was not whether or not you can, whether or not you find the, whether or not you know the formula for volume. It was to check whether you understand significant digits. Okay. So how many decimal points should there be in the volume and such things. So if you are not done, with those chapters, such easy chapters properly, you'll bang your head after coming out of the examination hall, or you might even do that in the examination hall itself if you can't solve such questions. Yeah, least count and all. So make sure easy chapters are taken care of. Same goes for chemistry and mathematics. Don't leave out easy chapters. In mathematics, vector algebra and all are quite easy. That's what students feel. So make sure you prepare them well, apart from your strengths. Revise everything by parts. That is, try to complete the whole syllabus. Don't leave out syllabus at all. Okay. Say you start from the very beginning of the course in mathematics, chemistry and physics. Okay, you start from quadratic equations, you start from logarithms, you start from sets, functions and all. In physics, you may be starting from kinematics, Newton's laws of motion. Go part by part, try to clear your doubts. Ask your faculties, ask your teachers to, help you understand a few topics that you couldn't understand 1 year back or 2 years back. So try to clear those doubts. If there are some questions that you couldn't solve in last year while learning those chapters for the first time, try to clear them out. Try to get your doubts cleared, but go part by part. Don't try to go haphazardly running here and there, start from nuclear physics and then go to kinematics. No, plan it out and go parts by parts. Don't try to attempt the whole paper, a new paper every day consisting of the whole syllabus. Don't do this. Next is practice tests every week. You have to practice tests every week. It is one test at least of JEE main every week on Saturday or on Sunday. Okay, and this should be part by part. For example, if you are preparing for kinematics and Newton's laws of motion, then kinematics, Newton's laws of motion and the rest of mechanics on week 1, then design that test only for those topics. Same goes for mathematics and chemistry. Every time I don't need to repeat this, but try to practice the test part by part, and at the very end of the revision and all, that is in the last 15 days or 10 days of your exams, last 10 days before the exam, try to practice full syllabus tests. Okay, every day 2 tests. Yeah, so the more you practice, the better you'll get. Last, make a timetable. Timetable is very, very, very important at this stage. Given that you all are maybe 17, 18 or 16-year-olds, I suggest you sleep only for 6 hours a day and try to maximize the number of hours you spend on studying. 6 hours a day is more than enough. 6 hours a day is more than enough for you to sleep and get enough rest. At this level, at this age, your body can tolerate any amount of stress, physical stress. You'll come out of it. It won't harm you. You are not 40, 50-year-olds that you are afraid of losing sleep. Okay, just this 1.5 month or 2 months maybe, given all, because this will make a foundation stone for your whole career. Trust me, I've seen students working so hard in the last 2 months of their exams, JEE main, that they have improved significantly, and I couldn't believe when they score whatever score they get, because in the practice tests, when I see their scores, they were scoring quite less, say 150, 160, and in these 2 months they work so hard, they revise, they prepare so well, that their scores even reach 200 out of 300. I've seen this happening in just 2 months of time. Yeah, so take care of these things, make a timetable, only 6 hours of sleep and 14 hours of study. Yeah, 14 hours of study every day. You need to do this. There are people studying for 16 hours a day. There are people, and you have to get into the top 10, top 1%. Okay, 99 percentile you have to get into to get a good rank, to get a good seat in NITs and other colleges. So to do all these things, and you are competing, don't forget, you are competing with 8 to 9 lakhs of students, so you can't take it leisurely. They are studying for 16 hours a day, you also need to study for 16 hours a day, or for at least 14 hours a day. Otherwise they deserve the seat more than you do. It's a fair play. Yeah, so prepare a timetable. I would suggest that whenever you're writing a test on Sundays or Saturday, whenever you're writing a test, these practice tests, try to write practice tests, try to write these tests between the time slots given for JEE main. The JEE main time slots are from 9 to 12 and 2 to 5, if I am not wrong. 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. So try to write these tests between these two slots. So you are basically training your brain to be at its optimum best at these times of the day. So this was about how to prepare for the exam. Now coming to the actual biggest part, how to attempt the paper. 300 marks, 180 minutes, 75 questions to attempt. So on average you have 2.4 minutes per question. Now we all know that not all questions can be solved in 2.4 minutes, but not all questions take 2.4 minutes to solve. So how to go about writing the paper, attempting the paper? This is the idea. And listen this very carefully. This is the most important part of this video. Say you start with mathematics. Okay, this is up to you. It is not that you have to go by this method only. You can start with chemistry or physics or mathematics. But this is the plan. For mathematics, for the first 5 minutes, what you have to do when you see the paper is scan and mark the questions from easy and comfortable topics. Yeah. For the first 5 minutes, scan through all the questions of mathematics. You know that which topics are easy for you. You know which questions from which chapters will be easy for you. So you mark those questions. Out of 30 questions, you mark all the questions which are from the easy ones. In the next 40 minutes, try to attempt only those questions which you marked. For 5 minutes, mark the questions. 40 minutes, attempt those questions. Don't try to attempt any other things. Say for example, out of 30 questions, you mark 15 questions which are from the topics that you are comfortable with, or the topics which are easy for you. 15 questions. So can I safely say 15 questions and you have 40 minutes to solve. Yeah, 40 minutes to solve. These questions are easy ones. So this should not take more than 2 minutes per question for you to solve, since they are from the easy ones. So 40 divided by 15 is definitely more than 2.5 minutes. So more than 2.5 minutes per question you are spending on a question which are easy. So I can expect, or you can at least expect, that you at least score say 12 questions of these. 12 questions. So in 40 minutes you mark 15 questions, and successfully I'm sure you'll be able to score at least, or get answers of at least 12 questions. 12 into 48. 12 into 4 is 48. So you are scoring 48 marks only in 45 minutes that you are spending on mathematics. 48 marks. The next is do the same thing for physics. In the first 5 minutes, mark the questions which are easy or comfortable, and in the next 40 minutes you do the same thing. Say again you are able to mark 15 questions, and in 40 minutes you are able to solve at least 12 questions of it. Okay, 12 questions in 45 minutes, a very very good average. So what will happen because of this is 45 plus 45 90. So 90 minutes out of total 180 minutes you have already spent. But what have you made short in this 90 minutes is, in this 1.5 hours, is that you have attempted all the easy questions that you know. If I go into chemistry, there is no particular technique to attempt chemistry paper. You can attempt the chemistry paper as you like. You can attempt all the questions together, because from my experience and from students experience, I can say that 30 or 25 questions of chemistry can be completed in 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so can I expect chemistry to be done in another 45 minutes? Yeah, so 45 plus 45 plus 45, that is 135 minutes. In 135 minutes out of 180, yeah, this is minutes, out of 180 minutes, 135 minutes you have spent, but you have made sure in this 135 minutes that you have solved all the questions that you were anyway going to solve and were only able to solve. Understand what I'm saying? In these 135 minutes you have solved the questions which you are only the questions which you are going to solve anyway. The rest were hard for you, the rest topics were anyway hard for you, so there was anyway very less chance that you were going to be able to solve those questions. But what is the benefit of this, sir? Why are you giving this strategy? The strategy is, out of 180 minutes 135 minutes are spent, so the rest 45 minutes are left with you at the end of the paper. 45 minutes are left, and you have already solved the questions which could have been solved by you anyway, without even stressing about the things you don't know. You are going to score only these many marks anyway. Understand this. But now you have scored those marks, secured those marks in only 135 minutes of the paper. So what I want to convey here, in the rest 45 minutes you can try to attempt the rest of the papers, the rest of the questions. That is, suppose you mark 15 questions in physics but you could solve only 12. Same goes for mathematics. So the rest 3 questions plus 3 questions and some questions in chemistry, say you left, you can solve those now in 45 minutes. Think about it. There will be only around 10 questions which you have marked but couldn't solve. Say those 10 questions, if you are able to score and get the answers, you add another 40 marks to your total. Say you are able to solve 15 questions in physics, 15 questions in mathematics, and in chemistry, say you are able to score 20 questions. So 30 plus 20, that is 50 questions you are able to solve. 50 into 4 will give you or will fetch you 200 marks. Now understand this. Out of these 200 marks, you had already secured 48 plus 48 plus whatever the marks you scored in chemistry in the first 135 minutes. The last 45 minutes you are spending to just solve the difficult questions from your easy chapters, and you are giving 45 minutes by 10 questions, that is 4.5 minutes, 4.5 minutes per question to solve a question from an easy chapter. Very much doable, right? And after all these numbers and all, you are able to score 200 marks. Out of this 200, if you follow this strategy, out of this 200, even if you make mistakes and all, you will at least score 180 marks. Yeah, but understand this, you were only anyway going to get these many. If you had tried to attempt the paper completely haphazardly without any strategy, say in chronological order from question number 1 to question number 90, you would have missed some questions which were easy, you could have solved, and you would have spent say 5 minutes or sometimes even 10 minutes on a question which you were never going to solve. So these are the questions you could have solved, and you solved them, you attempted them, and you are quite content with it. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, I'm not saying that all of you will score only 200 marks with this strategy. No, these 15 questions, 20 questions are what any random student can do. Okay, I'm not saying that you cannot mark more than 15 questions. You may mark 25 or 25 also. If you are that good, you may mark 20 questions also. You may score 250 marks, you may score 270 using this strategy. But what is the only caution that I want to give you, word of caution, is that this strategy will take time to adapt. This strategy will not, it's not like you go to the examination on the actual mains exam and try to adapt this strategy for the first time then and there itself. It will not happen. You have to adapt this strategy in the practice tests. In the practice tests that you practice at home or at your colleges or schools, you have to adapt this strategy. Try to keep a watch with you. Try to manage your time. 45 minutes. As soon as the 45 minutes are done for physics, you leave the topic, you leave the subject, whatever is the scenario there. Even if you mark 15 questions and couldn't solve say even half of them, leave it. Go to mathematics and then go to chemistry. Maintain your time. It will take effort. You might drop your marks for quite a bit for 1 or 2 tests, but after that you will see a great rise in your marks. So try to adapt this strategy, and if it works for you, try to share this video with someone else for whom it might find helpful. Okay. The next big question is, sir, how to manage the time pressure? Because I have seen many students tell me that, sir, in the offline tests, when I was attempting the offline tests before Corona, beautiful golden times, I could manage my time really well. I could manage the time pressure. There was no time pressure at all. I was scoring really well. But whenever the tests are online on the screen and there is a timer ticking on the screen, countdown, I get anxious. I can't concentrate on the question. I just look at the timer and I can't concentrate on at all. So how to do this? So what I suggest is practice test without looking at the screen timer. Sir, how to do that? If you are practicing on a laptop, what I suggest is wherever the timer is, your portals might be different on whatever you are practicing. Wherever your time is, wherever there is a screen timer, try to take a sticky note and hide it. Simple analog method, not even digital method, an analog method to hide the timer. So then how will we know whether there is time left or not? Keep a watch with you. Okay, you may not be allowed to do this in actual mains exam, but I just want you to practice this. Hide the timer on the screen with a sticky note and keep a watch in your hand or on the table and manage time from that. So that watch will never tell you that, okay, you have this much time left, you have 45 minutes left, you have 43 minutes only left. No, you see 45 minutes over for physics, leave that and keep moving. Yeah. So this is one trick that I would suggest. Next is, before attempting the actual papers of practice tests, I suggest that you solve 5 questions from each subject before starting the tests. A lot of the students are under the impression that you should be completely calm, you should be relaxed, you should be completely out of tune before going into the examination hall, and then when you are clustered free, you can enter the examination hall and do well. This doesn't work in such examinations. These are tough, demanding examinations. You cannot switch off your mind before the exam and enter the examination hall, and as soon as the question paper comes in right in front of you, you can't expect your brain to turn on that quickly. You need to give your brain some time to get to turn on, switch on. So what I suggest is, before, just half an hour before or 45 minutes before the exam, solve 5 questions of physics, 5 questions of chemistry, 5 questions of mathematics. Just 5 5 5. Okay, what will this do? This will jog your brain. It will get your brain heated up. It will get your brain start working, and by the time you actually start your paper at the stipulated time, your memory or your brain will be at optimum capacity or optimum speed. It will be running, it will be thinking clearly. So don't go blank into an examination hall or examination and start the paper and be completely relaxed before the exam. Don't listen to music, don't do this, don't keep your mind relaxed before that. This has worked for me, this will work for you. Okay, don't listen to songs. All right, next thing. Sir, should I sit for all the attempts? Now this is a quite subjective thing, but what I suggest is, ideally yes, you should sit for all the attempts. All the 4 attempts you should sit for. The only downside is you may not be able to concentrate or give equal effort to all the 4 attempts, because given your boards, practicals, practical exams, preparatory exams and whatnot. So out of these 4, there will be a few which you may not be able to give full effort to. So I suggest that at least sit for 3 out of the 4 attempts. 3 out of the 4 attempts. Which 3? You have to plan it out according to your board exams. How will the board exams be how will the board exams circular, when will it come, what will happen, when will the board exams be? We are unsure yet, but that is what the NTA has taken care of. That is why they are giving you 4 attempts, so that you can even skip one of the attempts to concentrate on your boards, and for the rest 3 you can attempt the JEE main properly. So at least 3 or 4 attempts you should try. I have seen, I would suggest that don't miss out on any attempt. Even if you are not able to prepare for that attempt, try it. Doesn't matter. Because I've seen from last 2 years we are having 2 mains test in 2 mains exam in a year. So I've seen my students, a few of them have increased their percentile by as much as 6 percentile. Think about it. A few of them were scoring 92, 98%, 92, 93 percentile in the January attempt, and later on they went on to secure 98, 99 percentile in the April attempt. So they do jump. The percentile does increase on the second attempt. So this won't happen so drastically from first to second right now, but it may happen from first to fourth, that you may increase your percentile gradually, because everyone, you prepare well, you are accustomed to the examination hall pressure, you feel comfortable in the examination hall once after the first attempt or after the second attempt, so you are much more relaxed there, you are not that anxious. So the more attempts you give, the more you will get comfortable with the examination hall pressure, the better you will perform. And I'm talking this statistically, not just हवा में बात नहीं कर रहा मैं. Okay, so take care of these things. This is what I wanted to talk to you about in this video. I hope this you find this helpful, and again, if you find this helpful, try to share it with any of your friends who might find it useful, any of your juniors who might find it useful. So this was Mithil, vectorijk, and I'll bid adieu to you. I'll see you next time for some new video soon. See ya. Also, if you like this video, give a thumbs up to it. It will be really helpful. Thank you.